tonight I'm going to be all alone. I heard another noise, and again, I am the only person in this building. There's no staff here, there's no security here, it's literally just me, and we just heard something else coming out of the hallway there. I got chills right now, holy crap. But I heard this was your kitchen, so we're gonna play by your rules.
They brought her in here. She asked for a doll collection to come in here with her because she was an avid collector of porcelain dolls. So the dolls that are on the bottom row here belong to Doris.
And this is the area that they stacked up all of the bodies. What is that? Hello? Oh shoot. The pickle's going off. But through this door is where things, I hope, get crazy. What's going on, guys? We have a brand new YouTube video coming at you tonight from the Randolph County Infirmary. Now, it's located in Winchester, Indiana, and I've never actually shot a YouTube video here before. And tonight, I'm going to be all alone. So we're gonna see if me being alone lets any of the entities or spirits here talk to us a little bit easier. So we're gonna get everything unpacked out of the car, and then we're gonna go inside and have one of the guides take us around Randolph County Infirmary so we can learn a little bit more about the history, a little bit more about the haunting, and see what we're in for tonight. Boom! Oh, just look at it. It looks so cool. Pretty countryside here. Ooh. So let's go ahead and go on in and see what we got going on.
I'm Kate with the Randolph County Asylum. I'm the general manager here, and if you call to take bookings, I'm the one you'll be talking to. So we're on the second floor of the Randolph County Asylum, and the second floor here tends to be a bit of an active location because there's a lot of pissed off women up here. From World War II era, there were some troublemakers who were admitted to the asylum, and they caused a lot of problems here on the second floor. So we have reports of gang rape in the attic, another down in the basement, of thefts and assaults occurring here on the second floor at the asylum. And we ended up with some pretty pissed off women here on the second floor because apparently they took the brunt of those troublemakers' activities. So, second floor here is women's side, obviously, of the building. Now, during that period, during World War II, we actually had a judge living here at the asylum. He admitted himself, and this was his retirement plan. So he actually anticipated the possibility of the U.S. becoming involved in the war and anticipated the possibility of there being troublemakers here at the asylum. So he actually, with the superintendent and the county sheriff, came up with a solution for any troublemakers that might be admitted. And their solution is in this room right here.
Oh, wow. It's like an actual cell.
It is an actual cell. So this was purchased in 1980 from the Randolph County Sheriff's Department. And it was installed here in the second floor of the men's medical room because they could move the toilet facilities into the cell. The cell was used throughout the World War II era. The judge actually held trials up in the attic. They would convene a jury if anybody was accused of anything. So the cell was used, and if there was more than one person involved, then they would both be in here and sentenced to periods of time in the cell.
Wow. Could not imagine.
Now, the second floor here is also where there are stories of a murder having happened during that time during World War II. So this room up here belonged to a gentleman named John Oliver Champ. He was 82 years old, and he did not much appreciate the troublemakers that were here. And so the story is that when he was in here cleaning his window, the troublemakers actually came in and pushed him out.
Oh, wow. So they think, now is that documented, or is that just like the stories?
Well, his death certificate says that he died of an accidental fall at the Randolph County Asylum. But the family of the superintendent has his diary, and his diary entry for that day says that he was coming across the grounds and he saw Champ fall and he saw two people walk away from the window. So
the death's confirmed for sure, but
the circumstances surrounding it are not confirmed. And during that World War II era, there just wasn't a lot of stuff that was investigated because, I'm sorry to say it, the people that were here were third and fourth class citizens. So they're not really high on the priority list of things to check out. But then you also have a police department that's got 75% of their guys deployed overseas. So they just didn't have the manpower to handle things like that. So heading down to the first floor is a very popular room here at the asylum, mostly because it creeps people out.
Ooh, we like creepy rooms.
Oh yes, creepy rooms are always great. So downstairs, when we get to the basement, I'll be introducing you to Doris Addington. She was the cook here at the asylum for more than 70 years, but the last couple of months that she was alive, she was sick. She had H1N1, and that converted over to pneumonia, and she passed away here at the asylum from that. But the room that they moved her to is just around the corner here. And it is the room that she died in. But it is the ultimate creep factor room. So this is the women's first floor medical room that they moved Doris to. She didn't want to go to the local hospital for treatment. She wanted to be treated here. So when they brought her in here, she asked for a doll collection to come in here with her. She was an avid collector of porcelain dolls. So the dolls that are on the bottom row here belong to Doris.
Wow.
And the others have been added by people I like to call repeat offenders. And by my boss who looks for dolls to mess with people that don't like dolls. But we do have comic relief in here for people that don't like dolls, and you can see our comic relief right there.
I see. It's a little bit of a
little stripper action.
Stripper action going on.
Now they're doing well because they're over $90 that they've made for the asylum so far. So they are working that pole well.
Working it well.
But if you follow me, I can take you down and introduce you to Doris.
All right. Is that like a chapel right at the end of the hallway there?
Yeah, there's a chapel. So there were 4 in the building, and depending on how many people were in here at any given time, they could have up to 4 church services here on a Sunday.
Did they just have 4 different ones for 4 different religious services, or?
They have different pastors out the community that came out and would perform service.
Gotcha, okay.
And then the next week they'd have a different pastor come out and do it. So it was still non-denominational here.
Gotcha.
But residents weren't stuck here. They could go to town to the church of their choice if they wanted to. So, but they did try to do things in a non-denominational way out here. Segregated, so this is the women's side and the other side of the building is for men. But through here is the residence kitchen. So there on the tray is Doris Addington. So she was admitted to the asylum when she was 11 years old. And she ended up in here because when she was very young, she got kicked in the head by a mule. And it gave her a lifelong stutter. She had a hard time articulating. And when her parents were killed in an accident, her older sisters thought that her speech impediment would prevent them from being adopted together. So they brought her out here to the asylum and left her on the front steps before heading to the county orphanage. Wow. So she came in here at the age of 11 and she informed the superintendent that she was going to be the cook. Apparently she was very feisty. So he brought her down here to the kitchen and introduced her to Mary, who was the cook, and made her the apprentice. And then when she was just a teenager, Mary died. So Doris took on the duties of the head cook here at the asylum. When she was 21, she signed herself out and she moved in with her older brother, but within a year she had signed herself back into the asylum. She said that this place was home and here she was making a difference. So she's This is her kitchen. Don't make any mistakes about that. And she is one of our more active presences here, so a lot of people will actually hear her speaking, saying hello or asking who's there. They've caught apparitions of her down here, flashlight sessions, EVPs. She's just a really active and really sweet presence here at the asylum.
Now, when did she pass away?
She passed away in, I want to say 94.
Okay, so not super.
Not terribly long ago.
29 years ago? Not that far.
So, yeah.
All right. Of course. Kind of smells like spice in here right now, maybe from the heat.
It's not even hot down here though.
Yeah. I don't know. It smelled like some kind of spice.
Well, she was well known for baking. Apparently her most coveted recipe was for large groups of people and green bean casserole.
All right.
She helped with a lot of bake sales with churches and things around the area and schools and stuff. She would never take a dime for it. She was just a really sweet person. Now, I am not going to go in this room and tell this story because Ida gets pissed off when we tell her story. This is Ida's room, okay?
Now, I think I've heard this one, but this is the room that she took her own life in, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So do people leave these as almost like a...
Tribute to her.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do they get activity in this room?
Yes. EVPs, she's kind of persnickety,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So if you can develop a rapport with her,
Uh-huh.
people get really good activity. If you come in here and say something that's gonna piss her off,
Yeah.
she's gonna give you the finger the rest of the night.
All right. So we got to be sweet. We got to
Yes.
sweeten her up.
Yeah, sweeten her up, which is why
Okay.
I'm not telling her story in there.
Okay. We will have to sweeten her up.
So, get a little further away and I'll tell you about Ida. So, Ida was admitted to the asylum in 1936.
Okay.
Her last name's Gunkel, Ida Gunkel. And her husband died 6 years before that of neurosyphilis. Apparently he was a very friendly traveling salesman. So, he dies of neurosyphilis, she has it, she's suffering from it too, and her family had been taking care of her. 1936, they couldn't do it anymore. So they admitted her here to the asylum. And when they admitted her, she had a room on the women's side of the building on the second floor, but by 1938, she got to a point where she'd come out of her room screaming, tearing at her hair, pulling off her clothes, scratching herself, wandering around the grounds and defecating in strange places. They were terrified she was going to get hurt. This place was a 350-acre working farm for most of its history. So you've got livestock, equipment, a highway out front, and if you're not fully aware of your surroundings, this place is dangerous. So at the same time, they didn't have the heart to send her to a mental institution. So they moved her down to the basement. And when you went in, you saw there's bars on the window. And that's like the only room in this building that has bars on the window. They built
Trying to keep her in.
No, they built it that way. I have no idea why. We can't find any records explaining why they built the building that way, but they moved her down to that room. And every night they'd go down at 10 o'clock, lock the door. Every morning, 5 o'clock, they'd go down.
All right.
La, 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 la. I have to come back here. I don't want to know. Every morning they come down and open the door at 5 o'clock in the morning and let her out. And during the day, they can keep an eye on her. At night, they're sure she's safe. So they were doing that all of 1938 until August. And one night in August, Mrs. Thornburg came down to tell Ida good night, and Ida asked her for a broom. It's the basement, and the residents are supposed to keep their rooms clean. So Mrs. Thornburg brought her a broom, told her good night, locked the door, and went to bed. And when she came down in the morning, she found that in the night, Ida had taken that broom, put it over the pipes, and used some of the ticking from her mattress to take her own life. She hanged herself.
So, I guess when people go in there, when they're trying to communicate with her, do they bring that up or just try and be nice?
Well, they've picked up, the reason we don't tell her story in her room, because I used to tell it in her room. We've picked up pieces of EVPs over the years that lead us to believe that she doesn't appreciate being remembered for her death.
Gotcha.
She would rather be remembered for her life. She had children, she had a husband, she had family that cared about her, and she'd rather be remembered for that than for her death.
Gotcha.
We just don't know a lot about her life to tell that part of the story.
Yeah.
the part of her story we know
Is
is
the death.
unfortunately her death.
Yeah.
So just tread carefully is all.
Okay. Now, the final place I'm going to ask you about is one that I've seen some of my friends kind of point out that have been here, is this little part in the basement over here. And I've heard that there's like this weird, like octopus crawler looking thing that no one can really determine what it is or who it is if it is a person. But I've heard that people have, like, did people used to get chained right here?
Okay, so the space that over here, you can tell that there's a change in the coloration of the concrete. So they did have a cell down here in the basement, and if somebody was admitted who was violent to themselves or to others, they're not equipped to handle it here. So they would put them in the cell temporarily and call the state police, and they would stay in the cell until the state police could get there to pick them up and take them to Richmond or Muncie, where they had actual facilities where they could get help for their problems. If there were two people in at the same time, you don't want to put two people that are violent in the same little space. So the second person, if you look over here, you'll see it. This one's easy to find. I have a hard time with the other one. So you can see there's a bolt in there that's been broken off. That's where the manacle would be. Then people would be manacled to the wall until the state police arrived. Now again, it's a matter of a few hours,
Yeah.
and this is less than a handful of occasions that we know of this happening.
Okay.
You know, but part of the place's history. So as far as the creeper, crawler, elemental, I've heard lots of different terms used for that. Most people tend to experience, I've heard some people talk about it up here, but most people tend to experience down in the dining rooms
Okay.
of all places. So maybe it's something associated with that.
Okay.
The cooking but that would have been a very active area in the asylum. So if it's an elemental, it could just be a manifestation of all that energy from all those people all those years.
Okay.
So a couple of different things, but I do know that it's seen throughout the building.
Okay, yeah, because I know some people have seen it on like the second floor, so that's something I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for tonight.
Right.
I think the only other thing that I wanted to ask you about was this room over here. Did they used to store bodies in this room?
That's not funny. It is funny. No, it's not. Okay. So this was actually the butchery. So, do you want to go next door? Let's go next door. I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
So, there have been 3 asylums in Randolph County. First asylum was built in 1851, and this is the exterior of that original foundation.
Okay.
That building burned down. They built a second asylum on the other side of the driveway. That one fell apart because they were cheap in the way they built it. When they had to build a third one, they saved money by shoring up the 1851 foundation and extending it. So this was a money saver for the county. But this door led into the basement of the original asylum, into the butchery in 1851. And if you look at the keystone,
Oh, okay.
okay, so the first asylum in Randolph County was built by the Freemasons, okay? And they used that space for their lodge meetings too.
That's weird.
They didn't finish the lodge in town until 1856.
Okay.
So this was used for lodge meetings, and it was used as the butchery because this led out to this slaughterhouse out back. So 1899, they opened this place up. They have a dirt floor down here. That space is already being used for a butchery. It's contaminated. So 1899, they kept using it as a butchery. So, butchery. 1919, 1920, they electrified the building. They bring in an electric freezer. But they're still using the chopping block from 1851.
Yikes.
So I always wonder how many chickens lost their heads, but I'm kind of morbid. Okay? So this is being used as a butchery, and it has the freezer in here. Late 1920s, Randolph County, there's a cholera epidemic. 3 undertakers for the whole county who are trying to deal with the cholera victims and Uncle Joe, who's died of a heart attack too. They can't keep up with the body count. So they made an arrangement that any overflow bodies would be brought to the asylum to this room where they stacked them up along the wall between the two doors. The undertakers pulled what they had left of their budgets together. They purchased an embalming table, which they brought out here. They'd embalm the bodies in the room, wrap them in paper, and put them in the freezer with the pork chops.
Cross-contamination.
Well, the freezer's gonna kill any contamination that might be left,
Yeah,
and you've drained
this is
most of
true.
it out. But you've got bodies stewing in the summer heat, because cholera in the States is primarily a summer disease.
Yeah.
So you've got bodies stewing in the heat, and 3 elderly women died of what they said was food poisoning. But everybody here eats the same meals.
Yeah, so how did only 3 of them go out?
Yeah, and nobody else is even sick. So, but we're on the women's side of the building. So if they're gonna go eat, they're walking past bodies. If they're going back to the room, they're walking past bodies. And oh, if they're gonna go do laundry, they're walking past again. And they're old.
So is this the embalming table?
This is not an embalming table. This is
It didn't
just-
look like an embalming table.
It is
It
not
just looks
an
old.
embalming table. So the newspaper found out what was going on, and they came out and they took pictures of bodies stacked up along the wall to about here. And that's what finally brought an end to this place being used as a makeshift morgue, and that's also brought 18 inches of concrete to the basement. So all of that is now sealed beneath our feet. Okay?
But this is the
Yeah,
same
that is the same freezer they were using.
freezer that all these bodies would have gotten.
Yeah, and Bob's in there right now. He's from Halloween.
Bob from...
Bob. I call him Bob. I don't know what anybody else says, but I like the name Bob for a guy.
Maybe we should put ourselves in the cooler. See what we get. All right. Well, I think that's the majority of my questions. So, in just terms of the building itself, right? Is this like kind of like, I've been to a lot of places where it's like you have, it's not just people that are mentally sick or ill. It's people that are poor. It's
I know that this place gets called the Randolph County Asylum, but it's not an asylum in the case of a madhouse. It's an asylum for people who need asylum.
Yeah.
So you're going to have the chronically ill, the extreme poor, mentally handicapped, physically handicapped. Those are the kinds of people who would be residents here at the asylum. They are just people that need help. So some people, like Doris, was here the majority of her life. The gentleman who was, he was the keeper of the chickens. I want to say chicken tender, and that's just so bad. So the keeper of the chickens, he was here from the age of 14 to 89. So 75 years, because he was mentally handicapped. He couldn't take care of himself. So, and then you have people who are here for 3 months because they lost a job and they lost their home and they needed some place while they were getting back on their feet.
So I think that's something that everyone needs to kind of take note of, is it's not an asylum in the sense of like insane asylum, like not Trans-Allegheny. This is people searching for asylum from whatever circumstance they're coming from, whether that be a handicap, whether that's they didn't have money. So this served as a multifaceted facility, but it wasn't like a Trans-Allegheny.
Right, this is the start of state welfare.
Yeah.
Is what this is. It's the start of state welfare, and it was whether you needed long-term help or whether you just needed a stopgap to get over a hump. So, you know, we have, as I said, residents here for just a few months and others who are there the majority of their lives. This was people's homes. That's the highway.
All right, well, thank you so much for that. And it's slowly getting dark outside, which means that I'm gonna be all alone here very soon. So
Yeah, because I'm not staying.
she's not staying.
No.
All right, so I am now the only person inside of this building, and I'm gonna show you guys, we're locked in here. We are locked in, but anything that we have happen tonight, there's no other source of what it could be. So that's a very good thing, but it's also a very terrifying thing. But as an investigator, we love being able to throw out the possibility that it's another person in the building, unless somebody breaks in, which we hope that doesn't happen. But guys, we're gonna get started. We're gonna try and hit some of the hot spots that Kate told us about, but I don't know. I feel like we're gonna get some good stuff here. Just some of those rooms feel weird. Like you walk into parts of this building and there's a weird energy there. Also, there's this creepy ass mannequin right when you walk in the door. Like, I literally open the door here and there's this creepy ass mannequin here. Just boop. Okay, so we were getting the gear into the backpack now. We've got our DR60, our yes no device, our piccolo device. We're gonna take the Flux 2 as well. And I don't know what we're gonna get, guys, but this place has really creepy vibes. Like, it looks like something out of a horror movie, and I think they've actually shot a horror movie or part of a horror movie here. Something about bones. Maybe it's just called Bones. It was a recent movie. It came out like a year ago. But let's get this thing started. I'm gonna grab my other camera. We're gonna get started on the investigation. So here is the game plan for tonight. We're gonna investigate the doll room. We're gonna investigate the second floor. And then before we move down into the basement, we're gonna switch to infrared only. So we're gonna start the investigation with my normal camera, and then we're gonna move into an infrared camera. The reason so is I wanna see if we can catch this crawler figure that's supposed to be on the downstairs of this place, because many people have encountered this thing. Some people call it an octopus, some people call it a crawler, some people call it a creeper. I don't know what it is, nor do I know that we'll catch it, but I do want to be in infrared to see if that makes a difference in trying to catch this thing on camera. All right, so we are about to get this investigation started. Now, I've already put some equipment up, but something cool that we have going while I'm investigating alone in the building is I have 2 behind-the-scenes streams. One for my TikTok subscribers, one for my Patreon subscribers, but they are actually seeing what's happening in real time while we're recording this video. So if you want that extra content, please check the link in my description. But through this door is where things, I hope, get crazy. Now we're gonna start in Miss Doris's doll room. This is the room she would die in, and there's also dolls that she owned inside of this room. So let's get this thing started. We've already got equipment up, so we can jump right into the investigation. I will say it does look a lot different at night in here. It feels a lot different at night in here. So I hope it's as active as it is scary. Now we're about to come up on my motion sensor. There's that. At least we know it's working. So just to show you guys really quick, we have our TikTok behind the scenes camera there. Say hi to YouTube. And then in this room with our laser grid, we have our Patreon subscribers with a behind the scenes view. So if you want behind the scenes while I'm filming for YouTube, make sure you check the link in my description. Say hi to Patreon. Woo! Okay, so we're gonna get started and try and make contact with hopefully Miss Doris, either here or in the kitchen. I think the only thing I want to pull out in here is our yes no device. We'll put that over here. And then we already know we're going to do a DR60. But something we're also going to do, because we have a behind the scenes camera and I'm alone, we're actually going to pull one of my subscribers into the live stream and do an Estus session with one of them talking and then us recording over here. So you'll actually be able to participate in an Estus session. So if that's something you want to do in the future, become a sub. All right, let's get our DR60 and get this thing rolling. batteries in my 60 really quick. Oh, hang on. The flex just went off while we're trying to get set up. Is that Miss Doris? Miss Doris, feel free to come into the room, or anyone else that's here. Alright. First 60 session of the night. So we're just going to do an open mic first. This is where I essentially let whatever's here in the room come forward and speak. They can tell me whatever they want, tell me nothing. But it's just a way to see if there's anything here before we start asking specific questions. So 3, 2, 1. If there's anything here that would like to come communicate, I'm now in the doll room on the first floor. I'm going to say that's vibration. There is a silver box here that you can speak into, and hopefully I can hear you. What was that? Hello? Can you make that noise again? What is that? Hello? I thought I heard you. Can you make another loud audible noise? Where are you at in this building? What was that? Let's take a peek really quick, and then we'll play that back. Those were like too loud. If that's you making that device go off, can you step away? Oh my gosh, thank you. If you want me to come back in the room, can you touch that device again? Can you touch that device again? Man, this is weird. Let me just step out here. So we just walked away from the room again, and now the REM pod's not going off, because I thought maybe vibration, because sometimes vibration can make that go off if it gets uneven. But now it's not going off. So I don't know what the heck that was. Maybe Miss Doris wants us to come back in there. I'm not afraid of you. So this was a community room, like an activities room. And then this is one of the chapels over here. Okay, let's go back to doll room, because now it's quiet out here. And we'll do a playback and see if we get anything on the 60. All right. Here we go. Wait a minute. Did that just say it's me? Hi? It's me. Hi. Huh. It's me, hi. So it sounded like something came through and I said, who was that or what was that? And then it says, it's me, and then I hear a hi. So something's in here. I guess we should just go ahead and ask what it is. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Can you tell me your name? Do you know who died in this room? Can you try and scare me out of here? Who just made that noise out there? Is this Doris? Ending EVP. I heard another noise. And again, I am the only person in this building. There's no staff here. There's no security here. It's literally just me. And we just heard something else coming out of the hallway there.
Can you tell me your name? Do you know who died in this room? Can you try and scare me out of here? Who just made that noise out there? Is this Doris?
Nothing on that one. Okay. That was weird. I keep hearing stuff out in the hallways. If you can hear my voice, can you make a loud noise? My name's Kalani. I don't mean you any harm. Nothing. It's like the moment I go out in the hall, it stops making noise. So let's try the open mic again. So you seem to respond really well to just speaking into this device without me questioning you, which could be a residual we're picking up on. But I ask you to come forward and speak into this again. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Three, 2, 1. Let's do a quick playback. Thought I had to sneeze. Whoa. Hang on. Sound like something's screaming into the mic here. So I don't know if you hear it, right? There, something literally, sounds like something's literally screaming into the DR60. Just a quick, like, shout. It's pretty weird. I don't know, it's weird in here. Very weird. If there's anyone in the room, we have a flashlight over there. We've got this little red can and this blue device that if you can go and try and use energy to interact with it, hopefully we can see or hear you. Would you be willing to interact with one of these devices on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Oh, Epic just went off. Okay, thank you for that. Do you know how to make this red can go off? You just got to get in the proximity of this antenna here and it will go off. Can you do that for us? I want you to try and scare me out of here. There's some people that won't even come into this building because of how scary it's supposed to be. And I'm here all alone. Not because I think I'm special, but because I think it gives you the best opportunity to speak and have someone listen. So if there's something you want to tell me or somewhere you need me to go, guide me there. For any of the women that can hear my voice, I'm sorry that you had to go through that abuse, and there's nothing that I can tell you that can fix that. Oh my gosh, the REM pod. And the Epic's going off. I got chills right now. I have literal chills right now. Right when we brought up the abuse. I'm so sorry. I'm going to turn this device on, and if there's anything you want to say, you can say it. Three, 2, 1. Okay. Let's do a quick playback here. What was that? That's a voice there. Hang on. Okay, this is really faint. I hope the mic can pick this up. But first, listen, what I heard was we don't like men. So I'm gonna let you listen to this back really quick. But that's what I hear is we don't like men. I can't make out the rest of that, but it sounds like it's saying we don't like men. Well, if that was you that said we don't like men, I completely understand. But I'm not here to cause you any more harm or any more abuse. I'm just here to sympathize with you in any way that I can and give you the opportunity to speak and tell your story if you'd like. I'm not here to harm you. I'm just trying to comfort you in any way that I can. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions, and if you'd be willing to speak with me, that would be great. If not, that's cool too. But here we go. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Can you tell me why you don't like men? Would you be willing to give me your name? Were you a victim of abuse? It sounded like something just tapped on the glass. I heard a dink. Could have been a bug, I guess, but it sounded like just not that. Oh, okay, it's debunked. That was a bug. Probably trying to get to my light. Okay, well, at least we figured that out. I think that was me. I got big feet, okay? Leave me alone. I think that was a bug hitting the window, though, and I think the light kicked on from me hitting that. Can you turn that light on again? Is that possible for you? Okay, while we wait.
Can you tell me why you don't like men? Would you be willing to give me your name? Were you a victim of abuse?
Nothing clear to me on that one. Is there a better place for me to communicate with you in this building? If you can make a noise or a loud sound, which way I need to go. I'm just trying to speak with you better. I think I just had a bug hit the top of my hat. This is why we wear cowboy hats, folks. I don't know. It does feel like there's like energy moving here. Like in this room, there was a few points where it felt very electric, and then a few points where it didn't. Almost like something moves into the room, something moves out of the room, and right now it's really quiet. If you want me to go back in this room, can you make that red can go off again? Maybe we should try Estus. I think that's what we'll do. So I'm gonna cut clip right here, and then we'll restart with Estus because I don't have that much left on this camera to film for this clip. Okay, so we are about to do Estus. So one of my TikTok subs is going to be asking questions because when you're doing Estus, you gotta have 2 people, and I'm the only one in this building. So the only way we can do Estus is with one of my followers. So one of the subscribers in the chat is gonna get pulled up to do Estus with me. So we're gonna get that set up really quick. If you wanna do this in the future when I'm alone, make sure you're... Hello? I keep hearing stuff in that hallway. Alright. Let's get you guys set up first. Alright, who is my lucky... Oh, the flashlight just came on. Do you want to talk to me through a spirit box? If you want to talk to me through a spirit box, can you turn that flashlight off on the count of 3? 1. Oh, that's a little early. It's still pretty cool. So let's keep an eye on that flashlight if we can. So the first person that sends a guest request will be the one that we do. All right, Nikki. Nikki was the first one. Hello?
Hey, Kalani.
All right, so let me get my SB11 and my headphones out. So let me show YouTube really quick. So we're gonna have Nikki here asking questions while I'm under the headphones.
Hey, JJ.
All right. I guess I'll stand just for my
Are you going to close your eyes tonight, or are you going to keep them open like you did at the church?
I'm gonna close them. I'm gonna close them.
Everybody here's got your back anyway.
Yeah, so YouTube, I don't like closing my eyes when I do remote Estus because, I mean, I'm in a place by myself, and like if somebody were to break in, I wouldn't hear them. So we're just gonna go balls to the wall, because why not?
I would hear it, so I'd be able to...
All right, I'm sweeping.
You can't hear me, so
You're
that
good.
doesn't matter. Hello, that's Kalani there with you. Can you tell us your name? Is there anybody there with Kalani?
Stuck in?
What are you stuck in? Can we help you out?
The head.
You're stuck in your head? You guys can help out with giving me questions.
You are dead. Right behind you.
Are you behind Kalani?
19.
You're 19? How many people are there with Kalani?
I just heard like a female laugh.
What year is it for you? It's 2023 for us. Why don't you like men?
Brave. His hair.
Do you like Kalani's hair?
Hair.
Are you glad Kalani is there with you? How old are you?
He can't move.
Are you attached to a doll?
Cholera. Mom.
Is your mom with you?
Who are you?
My name is Nikki. What's your name?
Let me out.
Where are you?
Angry.
You're angry, or is someone there angry?
I'm getting angry.
Do you not want to talk with us?
Today.
Can you touch Kalani? Are you angry that Kalani is
Home.
there with you?
That's us. Dead.
Do you think we're dead? Kalani won't hurt you. He's there to try to help you.
That bitch.
Am I a bitch? Can you tell us what happened?
Anything?
Not a whole lot. They said they liked your hair.
We'll take
They
it.
kept saying
There was a lot of voices coming through, like it was really clear, but it was almost like they were just talking over each other, just spitting out stuff. So that makes me wonder, is it like more residual and not something trying to communicate per se?
Yeah. They kept saying they were stuck. I asked them to the dolls,
There it is.
but they didn't answer with that.
All right. Well, thank you for trying and thank you for participating.
Yes, sir.
You have a good rest of your night.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so it looks like chat said there's some angry cats. But that was cool. So it seems like it's gotten a little quiet in this room. We didn't get much with Estus. We're not getting much equipment response anymore. It started off kind of hot, but I say we move positions, go to a different spot, and keep this train rolling and see if we can get any more activity. All right, here we go. So we are gonna actually move up to the second floor where people have seen this crawler and also where the holding cell is that they used to put people in. So we're gonna head upstairs right now and see what kind of activity we can get up there. I'm gonna try and move around a little bit more though, because we keep getting noises, and I wanna see if anything wants to come out and talk with us. should sing them a little tune. Ooh, what is that? Oh, what in the hell is that? What is that? That's scary. The bed's scary too, but that's scarier. What is that? I don't know. I don't know anymore. Wise men say only fools rush in. These rooms are so creepy. It just sounded like there were steps behind mine. So we're gonna get some equipment out really quick. Okay. So for anyone new to the channel, that does vibration, temperature, EMF, and it's a REM pod. We're gonna put out our piccolo. If it detects anything, it will play a noise for us, EMF. So again, that does tri-axis EMF. But we're gonna walk over here. So a man was actually pushed out of his room. It was a murder up here. If you remember Kate, she talked about a man that was pushed out of his room. And they said they saw two people walking back out from the window when it happened. I want to say it was this one right here. Yeah, that's it. Okay, or wait. Oh shoot! The piccolo's going off. Oh, I got chills. I got chills right now, holy crap. Can you step away from that? Can you step away from that, please? Stop playing that music. That's weird. We're gonna reset it. Okay. right when I start talking about him. Are you in this cell with me? Okay, maybe let's do a DR60 in here. There's something in here interacting with equipment. So if you're in this cell with me, just speak into this silver box in my hand on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. What was that? Hello? It sounded like something just hit the door. Is there anyone out here? I want to say here, let me out of here, but I may just be listening for that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, but here you go. Let me out of here is what I'm hearing. That is freaking terrifying. Are you stuck inside of this cell? Or are you stuck inside of this building? Do you want me to let you out of the building? It sounded like a knock out here. Like I heard it clear as day. I hope the camera picked it up. This is pretty terrifying. I'm not scared, but being alone in here has a different vibe. Like there is not another soul in this building. I am all alone, and there's people that will not step foot in this place because it terrifies them. That's me, vibration. I heard there's a crawler here. Can you make yourself known or manifest to me? I'm going to do a quick walk down here, and then we're going to go back to the room that the man was murdered in. I heard you're a darker entity. That has been seen on the walls or ceiling. Look at that. Look at that freaking jigsaw bike. Want to play a little game? It's so quiet over here. Like we're not getting anything. Let's go back to that room he was murdered in. It's really weird because once we brought up his murder, the piccolo started going off. We go into that room. I catch an EVP that I think sounds like "let me out of here," something along those lines. So is there something trapped here, trapped in the cell, or trapped in this building? That's my question right now. And I think that might be what I try and ask about inside of the room he was killed. Can you knock on a door? Or maybe throw something or slam something? So everything's quiet in there now. Okay, so we're walking back to the room where the man got murdered. It does feel a little bit heavier up here. Feels like a little bit more pressure on my chest. It almost feels like a dumbbell. If you've ever worked out and you've had a dumbbell on your chest, that's what it feels like when stuff starts trying to press on you. Here we go. Was someone murdered in this room? Alright, looks like, so we had something come through. So again, quick reminder, whenever this plays back, it does not pick up dead space, it only picks up when it's recording something. So when we do a burst session, it'll sound like the questions are back to back to back. Let me try one more time. Nothing's super clear. I can't make it out. Okay, so anyone that would like to come speak, whether you're the murderers or the victim, come to this device right here and speak. You can scream at me. You can do whatever you want. 3, 2, 1, walking, set. Were you pushed out of this window? Did they try and say it was an accident? Does it upset you that they did not catch the murderers? Ending. All right. Listen to that.
One walking back.
I literally told it to scream or shout. If you remember, I said scream or shout into this.
Push out his window. Did they try to say it was an accident? Does it affect you? That they did not catch the murderer?
Wait, was there a voice there at the end?
3, 2, 1, walking back. Were you pushed out his window? Did they try to say it was an accident? Does it affect you? That they did not catch the murderer?
Maybe that's just my step at the end. I can't make it out for sure. Alright, let's go back to the holding cell. Okay. I don't mean to be that guy, but this this jail cell smells like swass. If you know what swass smells like, which everyone's got it. I probably got a lot right now, because if you can't tell, I'm sweating like a whore in church. But it smells particularly swassy inside of here. I think we're gonna put the footstep tracker out in the hallway. That's vibration. Okay, so that uses vibration as well. There we go. Okay, it's working. All right, who wants to get locked in here? We're gonna put the envoy right on the back of the John. All right. Do I have a bunkmate or a cellmate inside of the cell? I'm gonna make a bunch of noise in here if somebody doesn't come get me out of this cell. You are my fire, the one desire. When I say I want it that way. If you want me to sing some Johnny Cash, can you make one of these devices play? Just make any one of them go off and we'll sing some Folsom Prison. Or make a loud noise. If you make a loud noise, I'll sing for you as well. Maybe we'll start singing and see what they say. I hear the train a-comin', it's rollin' round the bend, and I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. Well, that train keeps a rolling on down to San Antone. Nothing? Jeez, tough crowd. I'm gonna have to leave this room soon. If you'd like to speak to me up here, you don't have many more opportunities, and then I'll be going to the basement. Can you make a loud noise on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Do you know what sounds really good right now? Scooby-Doo fruit snacks, but the blue ones. The blue Scooby-Doo. Something about them little bastards just hits differently. Like when you put the Scooby-Doo fruit snacks in your mouth, it's like a... It's one of them aha moments in life. So, I wish I had some Scooby-Doo fruit snacks. But before we go to this next session, we're about to go to the basement. We're switching to infrared only. I won't even have a flashlight. And we're going to be in the darkest place, both literally and spiritually, in this building, which is the basement. And we're going to go down there with infrared only. So if you're enjoying this video, make sure you go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. And if you love it so much that you want to tell somebody, share it on your story. Make sure you guys tag me on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. We also have merch. KalaniMerch.com. Get you a piece of merchandise, because without you, I would not be able to do what I do. So let's go ahead and pack up, and we're going to go down to the basement on night vision. 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, so I am using the flashlight to get down the stairs, but once we get down there, I'm putting the flashlight away. We're just going to be using infrared. So let's just take a look real quick. This is the chapel here. So let's do this thing. Very musty down here. Musty, musty. Kitchen. We're gonna go to the kitchen, try and talk to Doris first, and then we're gonna head over to Ida's room, and then from Ida's room we're gonna go to where they chain people up. I don't remember that light being on down there. I didn't turn it on. Maybe somebody else did before they left, but I don't remember that light being on. Oh, this is creepy. All right, let me use the light just to get in place. Don't want to fall or something. Just got to get set up, and then we can be in the pitch black. So we're going to put our EMF spike here from Ghost Stop right here. So these are really cool because it's like having a K2 meter, except it will play a chime. And you can adjust the sensitivity of it, which is cool. So probably picking up the camera right there. All right. So Doris, my name's Kalani. I don't mean you any harm or disrespect, but I heard this was your kitchen, so we're gonna play by your rules. Yeah, you must have liked that. Playing by your rules. Alright, get the bag down. I want to put out the yes, no. And Piccolo over here. Alright. Let me turn the volume up on here. Okay. And let's grab our Flux 2. Let's set that up. Dang, it's creepy out here. There we go. All right, Miss Doris. I'm going to pull out a box that hopefully you can communicate through. But you're going to have to manipulate radio frequencies to come through this device. But hopefully I can hear your voice. If you don't like this one, we have another one you can try as well. So if you do not like out loud spirit box sessions, I do have a new device coming that will take care of all of that white noise. We have my other spirit box, I just didn't bring it with me. So if you don't like spirit box sessions, please go ahead and skip ahead. I'm going to save you the but we're about to do a spirit box session in the kitchen. All right, Miss Doris. Can you tell me how to make your green bean casserole? I'll help you cook your green bean casserole. Can you touch one of these devices that we have out? They won't hurt you. They'll just let us know that you're here with us. Oh, the EMF spike just went off. Do you like music? You want me to play you some music? Or sing you a song maybe? Yes? Thought I heard a yes in there. Leave? I thought I just heard something. Did I just hear someone? You don't have to be afraid. Ooh, that's yellow. Just hit a yellow. So, if you want me to sing, you know, what about Elvis? You want me to sing? Oh, the spike went off right when I said Elvis. You want me to sing you an Elvis song? Oh my gosh, it hit yellow. That said no, but that hit yellow. Let's just try and sing real quick and see what it does. I'm gonna actually put out the DR60 while I do this, in hopes that we catch something else. While I'm singing. DR60 is set. And oh, the flux went off. Welcome into the room. I'm about to sing you a little Elvis. Do you like Elvis? Ooh. Did you like that singing? It literally waited till I was done singing, and then both devices flashed yes and one flashed green. That's crazy. Let's listen to the 60 really quick, see if it picked up anything. The flux just went off. The flux just went off again. What does it say right there? I hear something there. This may be one that I have to listen into headphones and amplify that a little bit more. But a voice does come through. So let's just do a quick open mic. I know we've done a lot of 60 sessions tonight, but I love EVPs because it's like you're hearing the voice of something that you're not hearing with your ears, which to me is just incredible. So I love EVP sessions. I think sometimes I do too many, but I mean, I love what I do and I love the way that I do it, so why would I change? All right, Doris, can you come to this device in my hand and say whatever you want? You can say your favorite color, your favorite dish, if you like cookies, pancakes or waffles. 3, 2, 1. Three, two, one. EMF spike just went off. Here we go. Quick playback. Did that just say my name? Kalani? I think it just said my name. All right, let's do one more quick question. Can you say my name? Kalani. Kalani. Flux again, and then the Epic just flashed yes. Okay.
Can you say my name? Kalani. Kalani. Can you say my name? Kalani. Kalani.
Am I hearing it? I don't know. I'll have to hear headphones with that one. I thought maybe. So my last 2 stops, we're going to throw in one more. So we're going to move from this area really quick. I'm going to leave the equipment for now. Take one other thing with me. We're going to go to Ida's room. I don't want to overload Ida with equipment, especially because she took her life in that room. And I'm going to use this as a quick plug for any of my viewers out there. If you do not feel like you have a purpose in this world, if you feel that you're up against the wall and there's no way out, please get help. I know sometimes it's hard to think this way, but I promise the world is a better place with you in it. And not just for women either, men too. A lot of men die every day due to suicide because they feel soft or like they're not enough if they have to ask for help. So for any of my viewers out there, please call someone, get help if you have any thoughts that are suicidal, because I promise you, no one is better in this world at being you than you, and this world is a better place because you're in it. If you ever doubt that, there could be a potential of billions of people based off of our DNA structures. But you were the one that was made. So anytime you feel that you're not enough or you feel like you need to leave, remember that you are a miracle for literally just being here. You were the one that made it. Therefore, you have defied the odds. You are a miracle, and you do have a purpose here. Sorry to get sappy, but let's go to Ida's room. Okay, I think, let's take yes no. It smells like cooking spices down here. Okay, we're going to turn this light off first and foremost. Please tell me it's not the one all the way up there. I think it is. Wish I had my light. Playing boot, scoot, and boogie here. Okay. Ooh, it is spooky. Let me know in the comments really quick, who would feel brave enough to literally be in the basement at Randolph County Infirmary completely alone? Let me know in the comments. That's not her room. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. There's definitely an energy shift in this room right now. When I came in here earlier, it didn't feel like anything, but right now, it feels like I got cobwebs all over my body. All right, Miss Ida, my name's Kalani, and I know you have many people that come here and talk to you, and they probably ask you things that you may or may not like, but I'm here to just talk with you. I don't want to press you about anything. I don't want to grill you on anything, and I don't want to bring up any bad memories unless that's something you want to do. So I have this little device in my hand, and it's a good way for you to communicate with me. But I just want you to feel comfortable, and I want you to know that you're respected and that I respect you. And I know my audience will respect you. So Miss Ida, first off, I want to see if you're in the room with me right now. Can you come into this device and say the word banana? I know it sounds silly, but it'll let me know that you can hear what I'm saying and also respond intelligently. Can you say the word banana? Three, two, one. Here we go. Play back.
Say the word banana.
It sounds like it's repeating banana.
Say the word banana.
Listen to this. Okay, I'm gonna assume that that's Miss Ida. All right, Miss Ida. Can you tell me what your favorite flower was? What was your favorite flower? Miss Ida, did you know that your husband was cheating? Do you have any regrets, Miss Ida? Can you tell me what color your eyes were? Three, two, one.
What was your favorite flower? Roberta, did you know that your husband was...
What's
What
that?
was your favorite flower? Roberta, did you know that your... What was your favorite flower?
Probably
Roberta, did
because
you know
Ida.
that your husband was cheating? Do you have any regrets?
Whoa! I think I hear yes, I did. Hang on.
Do you have any regrets, Roberta?
Oh my gosh!
Who was cheating?
Listen.
Do you have any regrets, Roberta?
So I hear yes, I did. I'll try and mark it in the caption so you guys can hear it, but I'm pretty sure I hear yes, I did.
Remember what color your eyes were? Three, two, one.
Okay, I didn't hear anything on that last question, but it does seem like she answered she knew her husband was cheating. It just got really heavy in here, like a very heavy feeling. I don't know that it's bad per se, but it does feel like she's making her presence known. Let's do one more burst session in here before we move to the body room. Miss Ida? Did you still love your husband after he cheated on you? Do you wish that you could move on and left him? Or move on and leave him? Do you like having me here to talk? Three, two, one.
Miss Ida? Did you still love your husband after he cheated on you? Do you wish that you could move on and left him? Or move on and leave him? Do you like having me here to talk?
Okay, nothing super clear on that one. I didn't hear anything at least. So we're going to grab some equipment. Our final two spots are going to be the body locker room where they stored all the bodies. And the final stop is the pit area where they chain people to the walls. Just quick notes on this place. It seems like there's a mix of residual and intelligence here. But it seems like this place, I don't know if they're trapped here or if they're choosing to stay here because this place feels like home. Right? When I die or you die, are we going to go to places that we had the most joy and we felt the most purpose? Maybe. Like, that's why for me, it's hard for me on why a lot of cemeteries are haunted. I do think there are haunted cemeteries out there. But if you think about it, right? I don't know where my body's going to be buried, nor does that place have any significance to me right now. But my home, anywhere my wife is, there's so many other places that I have heart in and I have joy with, and I feel these feelings of love and affection. I feel like those are the places that I would go. Maybe there's different rules that we don't understand, but what do you guys think? Do you think that we go haunt where our body's at, or do you think that we go haunt somewhere where we enjoyed it, or in the other end of the spectrum, somewhere we were murdered or somewhere we were killed because that was a traumatic point? I think energy is sticky. Good and bad energy is sticky. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. All right, so we're walking back to the kitchen now. I got my light on just so we don't trip. It's more of a safety thing, not necessarily a fear thing. All right. Let's grab all of this equipment really fast and then move into the kitchen. Smells like there's like spices. Like obviously I'm sure it probably they use spice in here, but there's like a big whiff of like some sort of like curry powder or something like that. Like very, very strong spice. Okay, so we're gonna go to the room that was the makeshift morgue, and we're gonna do a quick DR60. And we're just gonna ask one simple question. Is there anybody in the room with us? If we get response, we'll investigate a little bit longer. If we don't, we're gonna head straight to the place where people were chained up. Now, the only reason I'm doing it this way is because, again, for the same reason with the cemeteries, it's like, their bodies were here, but were they ever here alive? Would they have a reason to be here? I don't know, but we're gonna go in this room. So if you remember, Kate said, pretty sure they had like a cholera outbreak, and the 3 undertakers in town combined their funds to buy an embalming table and make this the makeshift morgue. Now, they were literally storing human bodies right next to the food that was feeding the people here. So when you were eating dinner, your food that they just cooked for you had just been sitting next to an embalmed body inside of a cooler. That's pretty nasty. I could not imagine. And the stench in the summertime. They had bodies stacked up in this room. There's Bob. It's not a real body, YouTube. Not a real body. It's a decoration. But there's the original butcher block. The chopping block. And this is the area that they stacked up all of the bodies. Now, when it was the morgue, there was a dirt floor, and they would end up putting 18 inches of concrete over that. So if you dig up 18 inches of concrete, there's no telling what you might find. Okay, light is off. Just a quick 60 session. I'm gonna set it down. Is there anyone in the room with us? I'm feeling a really cold breeze right now. Was your body ever in this room? Is there anything you would like to tell us, or do you have a message for us? ending AVP. All right, here we go. See if we get anything.
Is there anyone in the room with us? I'm feeling a really cold breeze right now. Was your body ever in this room? Is there anything you'd like to tell us, or do you have a message for us?
It may be something trying to come through. Nothing super clear. I don't know. I feel like we should just go to the part where they were chained to the wall. I don't know. I just don't feel like a room where your body lays would be active. I could be wrong, but you never know. That's what's so beautiful about this field is like nobody knows anything for certainty, and I think that's what I love about it, because I actually wanted to be a nuclear engineer. I'm really good at math, but the thing with math, unless you get into like deep theory and very high level math, a lot of it's already figured out. So there's not a lot of room for thought when it comes to thinking outside the box and theoretical approach. But with the paranormal, even people that have been studying it for 30 years, they don't actually know for sure. Right? And that's why I try and have an open mind with people. Sometimes I think people let their egos get the best of them, and they think because they've been doing something for X amount of years, they're an expert in it, which I don't think you can be an expert in this field. I think you can be an expert in knowing how your equipment works. I think you can be an expert in knowing your best practices and your best way to investigate. But at the end of the day, no one can tell you you're right or wrong. And that's what I love about it. All of us have different approaches, thoughts, and opinions, yet we're all looking for the same thing. Okay. Ooh, it just feels spooky in here. Okay. So this is going to be the last spot we investigate here, because we've hit quite a few spots. We've had some activity, nothing super insane, but it's like fishing. You can have the best boat, best lure, best line, and sometimes you just go home empty-handed. But we're not empty-handed. We've had decent stuff, so I'm hoping this last little bit does wonders. But we're gonna get equipment set up really quick, and then I'll grab you guys off the shelf. Oh shit. I almost just had a heart attack. I heard something move. It was a freaking balloon in the floor. Right back. I about just shit my pants. And it was my fault. Oh man. That's not good. Why is it still going off? Can you step away? Let's reset it. Weird. Very weird. Okay, let's keep getting this. We're gonna bring out all the bells and whistles now, since this is our last stop. Okay, envoy. EMF spike. Oops. Okay. Alright, so we're all set up. We got the piccolo where people were chained up. Got the paraquad. Got the EMF spike, cat ball, flux 2, and the envoy. So I invite anything in the basement, good, bad, or ugly, to come forward and come into the room that I'm in, please. I don't mean you any harm, but I would like to speak with you. Please. So if there's anyone in this room with me right now, there's devices all over this room. They will not hurt you. They will just let me know that you are here. If you would like to make a loud noise and not interact with these, that would be okay too. Was anyone ever chained up down here? I heard that there is an elemental here. I'm calling upon the elemental to come forward if you're real. Use energy from me or any of my devices to manifest if you can. But I'm not afraid of you. I'm just here to speak with you. If there's anyone that'd like to say hello, can you come to this device in my hand and say hello? The spike just went off. Can you come say hello? Three, two, one. Here we go. Ooh, flux. I didn't hear anything. Okay, I'm gonna leave the 60 recording over here. Can you tell me why you were held down here? Were you mistreated? Can I help you get out of here? Can you tell me what state we're in currently? That was my shoe. Can you make a loud noise in this basement somewhere? It's so quiet. Like, it seems like we started with pretty good energy, but it's weird how buildings just get really quiet, right? We're completely alone. We first floor, second floor, we had stuff hitting, heard noises, piccolo started playing. Now, the Epic's flashing. Let's see if we caught anything here. The spike just went. Can you move that cat ball on the floor over there? I'm gonna have to leave. If you don't want to talk to me, that's okay. You don't have to talk to me, nor can I make you talk to me. And I know you get people in here to talk with you all the time. So I appreciate what you have given me tonight, even though it's not anything super crazy, but I thank you for using your energy on me. I really do appreciate it. Can you come up to this device in my hand right now and say goodbye? Three, two, one. All right, let's play back. Okay, it's super quiet in here and not really much of the equipment's going off. It seems like they may be out of energy. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up the video here. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this out with a friend. And I cannot wait to bring you guys to next week's episode. But let me know what you guys thought below about doing this location alone. I will say probably the most blood pumping moment was probably when that piccolo box started going off when I mentioned the suicide, or when I mentioned the murder that happened upstairs. You get a few possible EVPs, nothing ridiculously clear, but you know folks, you're not gonna get something every time you turn on the camera, unfortunately. And that's just the name of the game. This is what real paranormal investigations look like. But thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for being part of the family. If you want access to those subscriber-only live stream cameras while I film, make sure you check the description below for the links for Patreon and TikTok. Also, if you guys have any fan mail for me, scroll to the very bottom of the description. Send me something in the mail. Once we start getting some of that fan mail in, I'm going to do a live stream opening it up. So, love you guys. Thank you so much. Kalani Ghost Hunter out.